What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. Yes, we are back again for another round of AOR Oceania F1 for season number 4. We're here, as you can see on your screen, at the Austrian Grand Prix. You saw then the results from last season, where both the Williams got a 1-2 ahead of New Zealand Ryan, and I think I can't remember. You probably would have seen it anyway. Who got pole, but I think it probably was Greek anyway, but you see just kind of letting Kaiwas go through there. Here's a reminder of the championship standings, so you can see where your favourite driver is. Alan Hugo, 5-point lead over Nick Chungus. We're still in, we dropped to position 14. We're still a singular point. Ferrari got a 34-point margin over Force India, and of course Toro Rosso are way down the pecking order at this early stage. Now Austria, of course, it's had its fair share of ups and downs throughout the years, especially since I began league racing anyway in F1 2017. We stick aboard here actually, because this was actually my fastest lap of the qualifying session, but and I'll probably explain what happened a little bit later. But of course, if you remember back to last season, we were on track for a pretty decent result, but of course, we get with the rear wing stuck open, sort of really can tell things quite a bit there, and obviously I lost out big time. Well, I mean, I wasn't complaining back then with having the DRS open on the front straight, on the any of the straights anyway, but through the fast corners, not ideal anyway. So that's where I really struggled, and I can't remember exactly where I finished actually. I think I was definitely inside the top 10 anyway, but now coming through, what are we into? I got to remember there are 10 corners around Austria, even though some people say there's like 9 or even 8 corners, so let's go through the 10 corners anyway. But we're coming down to the fast right-hander, just getting that curve, just having to roll out a little bit through there, and just avoid the curve and avoid running over that exit curve. Come across the line, we go jump up in position 2.
You're currently in second place.
With a 1 minute 4.425. We're actually the fastest in the final sector, which I felt like, obviously I felt like I had pretty decent pace in that final sector. But of course, with Austria, it's, well, pretty much the tyre compounds around here, you're pretty much spoiled for choice there. You can, if you're like me and probably a few other guys, you can easily go onto the ultra soft tyres and start on ultra soft tyres, I should say, and go onto the set of soft tyres, which I think that's what I did last season, and quite a few guys did that as well. But HO currently leads the moment on a set of super soft tyres.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 4.4.
Just ahead of Prez BC, who's the next guy on the ultra soft tyres, and we've got R8 in 6th, I think, and there's my teammate who's I mean, he set a banker lap time, but unfortunately he got his lap time invalidated. There's quite a few guys actually got lap times invalidated. It's quite easy to do as well around here, invalidate your lap time. You can either do it in entry or exit of turn 1, or you can do it through that fast right-hander of turns 9 and 10. But I was letting both somebody ahead of us, and it was one of the Red Bulls, and I think Fens, but didn't realise Fens wasn't actually quite on the hot lap there. So, but here we go on to the second run here. Just missed the apex going out into that tricky corner of turn 3 there, and we're about nearly 2/10 quicker than the previous lap time. Just ran a little bit too wide there, and also coming around the turn 10, which sort of invalidated both the lap times in the end. So maybe it may have been an improvement, but yeah, it wasn't to be in the end with the invalidation. So we're still sitting in position 3 at the current moment here. As you see Perez actually coming out of the pit lane there. So we're just going to let him go here, because I think he's about to set off for his fly here, which compared to me, where I'm just coming into the pit lane and only just managing to get the car stopped there, even though it is only qualifying, just managing to keep it under the speed limit there. But Matt has actually is out of qualifying. I'm not sure exactly whether he crashed coming into the pit lane or whatnot, but I think his car's sort of still carrying on coming into the pits. So I probably wouldn't be surprised at all there.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:4.4.
So still holding the fort here, and well, we dropped the position actually because Prez improved his lap time there, but it was still holding on to a fairly decent position here, because only a few other guys on ultra soft tyres on their best runs anyway. There's a few others that have set it on soft tyres, which it probably has something to do with the impending weather, which I'll show you before the race begins as we let Death Bro, I think that is, I think he's on a bit of a fly here, so just let him go there. And I think I was waiting for Cowboy actually to go past, but I don't think he's on a flyer either. So I'm just going to let Top Banter go through as well in that Force India. But you'll be able to see here, we're actually still on the now onto the flyer, which I thought was going to be my final run and hopefully my best run. But we have dropped back down to position 7 here. I was looking on track to definitely improve my lap time, but just turned in a little bit too early there. And yeah, to be honest, it's a glitchy tyre barrier coming into the pit lane. I was just absolutely furious at that. I felt like a 3 could have easily been possible, but yeah, it just wasn't to be, unfortunately. And I've really got to, I think the pressure was probably just building a little bit too much for me there. So anyway, we dropped all the way down to position 9 where we qualify. So HO does get pole with a 1:03, just ahead of V-Fence, who's on the super soft tyres. And you got Prez Rain, who's back for this weekend as well, ahead of Alan Hugo. And then they got my teammate all the way down in position 12, and there's a couple of guys, Harry, Ryan, and is that Matt? Haven't said lap times here, but hopefully we can have a decent race. But it is time to go racing here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Alrighty, welcome to the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. We're obviously sitting in position 9. Race strategy-wise, it is a bit overcast here around Austria. Now, there's a possibility, pretty similar to the last race in China, where we could have a bit of rain, either later on or somewhere during the race. But strategy-wise, like I said, it is going to be the one stop. Try and get the ultra soft tyres as long as we dare, and then go on to a set of soft tyres. But it may change a bit later on, depending on the weather conditions, whether it gets wet enough or not. It's just going to be a case of wait and see here. I was sort of tossing up whether I should try the ultras to super soft tyres, because I think some guys, some people in the past have actually attempted it and it's actually worked. But about to set off now for the formation lap here. Wasn't the greatest of getaways, actually.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
Now, obviously, you see majority of these guys, well, anybody inside the 10 will be starting on their tyres, the fastest lap time, or the time that they set the fastest lap on whatever tyre that it is. So, majority of these guys are on super soft tyres. So, some of them may be able to maybe get away with. Maybe trying to get as long as they dare to get to the rain period and maybe get onto the intermediate tyres. But there's guys behind, I think, as Matt actually just gets disqualified, actually. I think Big Chungus, Warden, I should probably say, the guys like him, he's actually outside the top 10. I think he's just outside in P11. I think he's going onto the soft, or starting on the soft tyres. So he could definitely take it as long as he dares until the race period. You can see just right behind me.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for them.
It'll be interesting to see here how this plays out, whether the weather turns up early or not. Here we go. We're all set for round number 4 here around Austria 5. Red lights. Let's do it around the Red Bull Ring, and Death Bro looks like he's done a jump start there, and I think maybe the same has happened for Top Banter, but already he's ghosting on my screen, and I think this is happening for everybody on their screens as well. And I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning was for this. I think Toppy V was a bit surprised at that as well, but you can see his teammates got a rip of start. He's already up a couple of spots, up into position, well, 7 or 8, battling away with his teammate. You can see we also got the point of view of Rain in the top right as well, who's back this weekend in AOR and on the Xbox side of things. I think he's been racing a couple of races on the PC side as well, so he's making his welcome return as he's trying to fend off that Ferrari of Alan Hugo, and just managing to do so. We get past the still ghosting car of Top Banter. I was taking a precautionary here just in case the ghost car would sort of come back to normal again, but I think for the remainder of the race, it just didn't for some unknown reason. It's just a weird glitch for some unknown reason. But anyway, now beginning on to go. Oh, we go on to lap 2 now, as we're pretty much stuck in behind a little bit of a battle pack. Looks like the leaders have started to pull away here. I think HO still got a pretty decent jump there off the line, as looks like Alan Hugo's going to look up the inside here of Rain going out of turn 3. There's a little banging of wheels. I think Big Chungus may play a bit of a factor here. There's no DRS yet. Still get another lap to go yet before you get on to get the DRS. So he sends up the inside. There's the Ferrari driver. We're going to go side by side here. This is not the ideal position for Alan Hugo, especially. He's going to try the long way around. Rain may try to put up the inside, but no, Alan Hugo doesn't, and gets up into what is this? P5, I think, from what I can tell there. But we're just pretty much here in a bit of a battle pack here. Just being led by now Alan Hugo. We've got Rain, obviously, Big Chunkus, myself, and got Laggy behind as well. So there's quite a variance of what tyre strategies a lot of people are on here.
DRS is now enabled. Will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Like I said, Warden is on the soft tyres, so he's going to take it for as long as he dares, I'm for sure. But I'm on the ultra soft tyres, so he's going to have to go for as long as we dare, and hopefully maybe this rain may not come till later on, but you nearly lose the back end. I've just got on the power way too early coming out of turn 3 there. Could have easily lost the spot there to Laggy, but thankfully he didn't quite get close enough there, or maybe the DRS sort of helped me out a little bit there. So
we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
What did I say earlier? It's nearly pretty similar to what happened back in China. It's going to come, the rain is definitely going to come a lot earlier than what was predicted anyway, because the last 2 icons was predicted sort of somewhere near the end of the race. We set the fastest first sector. You see there, we're purple there. We didn't actually set out the fastest lap of the race here. It's like Alan Hugo's now putting pressure on Prez, who's the other guy who's on the ultra soft tyres, so he'll be probably starting to struggle with his set at the current moment, so he's going to be a bit of under attack here. We'll jump aboard with Rain's perspective as well. The top right is Alan Hugo now gets by Prez. But now Big Chungus going to have a look around the outside here on Rain. I don't think he's quite close enough. He's going to try it. He'll do what Alan Hugo did, but they just leave each other enough space, but I think Rain should have the line. Yes, he does. So
be aware, we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Yeah, tyre grip was probably starting to fall away as well. My set of ultra soft tyres, and will probably be the same for Prez, as Big Chungus again looks at the inside here, is on the curve a little bit too much there and lose the back end, so not really quite close enough here, so we're going to have to do all that hard work again. Here's the replays from the start, on board with that defence. A little bit of wheel spin there, a nice jump from HO off the line there, so leading comfortably into turn 1. There was all that chaos that was going, battling on right behind there. He's all on board with RBR. You see that pretty decent job actually compared to Rain, who didn't get the greatest of starts. He's going to have a look at the inside here in turn 1. Not quite. This is on his teammate, by the way. And he's got a fairly decent start here as RBR. Going side by side, Red Bull teammates. We've seen this in the past, and in the past it doesn't always end well. So he goes up the inside into turn 3. I think he's got the move done. Yes, he has. So he's up into position 3. Now we're chasing after defense. As now his DRS is now failed. Well, thankfully it's not stuck open like it was for me last season, but you'd be quite thankful for that one, I would think. But battling continuing on, going on ahead, as Rain now goes on the inside of Prez. A little bit of shove here, and actually Chunkus may play, or actually might get the benefit here, because he may get 2 spots in one go here. So both those two have actually got past Prez. And here comes Chunkus up the inside. Lock of brakes, and maybe a bit of contact there. I think he's got it. Yeah, he has done it. As we now get a strategy change already. So I think we're changing maybe onto a set of super sauces. Prez really struggling here compared to myself. I'm just trying my absolute best to take the ultra soft tyres for as long as I can.
Box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
I think the strategy was, or the change of strategy was for me to come in at the end of this lap and go onto a set of super soft tyres. Well, I was keen to go for as long as we dare here, so now we're trying to get a bit of DRS here.
Within 1
on Perez, but he's still got DRS as well. And a little thing about up the inside here, just lose the back end there. It was probably my fault to go back into third gear there, I think. But now we've been under attack here from Laggy. We're going to go side by side here, going up the hill, going into turn 3. Should have the inside line here. It's going to be tight out of the exit here, but I think Laggy's got a bit more traction compared to us. Just going to try and get back into his slipstream here and maybe go back up the inside here, going up into turn 4. Do think about it. It is a late move, but not really quite close up here. And Laggy now goes up into position 8. We drop back now to position 9. So now hopefully I can be dragged along here by Laggy. We can now catch up to Brez, who's obviously really struggling on his set of ultra tyres. This yellow flags behind, I think that's from my teammate. It says pit stops already, with Acho coming in very early. So I think he's committed to the 2 stop. Has really run wide there, and at that point I thought, yeah, the tyres are pretty much done at this point. So the top of the guys to be ready at the end of the lap for the pit stop. We're starting to really drop away here from Laggy and nearly lose the car coming through turn 7 and 8.
Taking this lap.
So we pull it over to the right-hand side just to sort of let everybody know that we're going to come straight into the pit lane, especially for Master Berserk behind. Because our RBR's actually out of the Grand Prix, so I don't know where he's crashed at, maybe just around the final corner there, but we'll get a replay of that one in just a moment or two once we see what happens in the pit stop. So as we now jump onto a set, we will jump onto the set of the super soft tyres, because like I said, I wasn't sure when the wet weather period was going to happen, so
we'll be doing just going to be today. 1 stop left in our strategy.
Thought this would probably be the ideal strategy, maybe not going to the set of soft tyres, because we've still got a bit of pace on this. We've got some the super soft tyres should have some pretty decent pace, so might be able to make some hay while the sun shines here, you could say. But as you see, my teammate behind and deth having a little bit of a ding-dong battle there. I think my teammate's either been spun around or he's done that all by himself there. So yeah, a bit of a real shame there for Monteiro. But deth now goes up into position 16, I think, in this race. So obviously up back to position 15. This is lap 8. This is RBR and Alan Hugo. So it looks like Alan Hugo's got a bit more pace on the super soft tyres, as maybe RBR starting to struggle a little bit here, but fairly good traction coming out of turn 3 there. But here he goes up the inside again into turn 4.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Wide there, and yeah, just lets him go there, I think. So I think he's sticking to the 1-stop strategy here. We come towards the end of lap number 9 here. So he's got Big Chungus behind here. So he runs a little bit wide there. Just gets on the power a little bit too early. Wow, that was a weird one actually. So it's like he only just lost the rear end just a tiny bit, and that was just enough to put him into the wall there at the exit of turn 10, you could say. But this is what happened with teammate and deth. So deth sends it up the inside there.
2.2 seconds.
I think maybe Monteiro actually, Plinio Monteiro actually maybe got the power a little bit too early on the curb, and obviously spun into
We don't think it's going to stay dry for much longer. The rain could come at any moment. Watch out. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
And this was what I was talking about, remember, because like I said, I didn't know when the wet weather period was going to come, but I felt like going on a set of super soft tyres, we'll have plenty of grip and plenty of speed to burn, so we can make hay. We can easily maybe gain a few positions.
Past, increase ERS deployment to overtake mode.
So now closing in again on the still ghosted car of Top Banter, as he's now chasing after a Conrod here. So we're trying to make a decentish pass here on the Top Banter, but not easy with him being ghosted, as we're now trying to make it 2 moves in one go here. It looks like, I think that's Prez, I think, in the pit lane. So we now get past Conrod as well. I think Top Banter actually got past Conrod as well, but they got, you see there, I'm making sure that we're prepared for the wet weather period when it comes. So I've got the inters ready, and maybe changing the front wing just a tiny bit to 2 on the front wing. Because usually I think when the case of the wet weather is, or with the dry period is, you can go with the lower setup as you can, but with the wet period you might get away with a little bit of a higher setup here, as we now try and get past Kiowas here as quickly as we possibly can, and thankfully we do manage to do that. So now we jump up into position 11. Next up is actually, well, was Harry Ryan, but I think it's now is that Matt, because I think Matt has maybe had a little moment there somewhere along the line to turn 6 or 7 around there, but HO is pretty much setting the pace at the moment there in his Mercedes. Should be pretty dominant fashion as we get our first time penalty of the race.
The car in front is 3.0 seconds.
I think Matt was another one that was actually one of the guys that started out. Oh, he didn't even set a lap time, did he?
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
So he was on the set. He's started on soft tyres, so he's trying to go as long as he dare. And now the rain has started to appear a lot more as we're now closing in on the end, coming towards the end of lap 15. There's
green flag.
A yellow flag moment there by the looks of things. And you can see Matt really struggling here on the soft tyres, which I thought would take a lot longer to go in this race. We go inside here into turn 1, but we just run it a little bit too hot. There's a little bit of close comfort there. Just enough banging wheels. Thankfully, we managed to get away without any damage there, but Matt's actually got DRS out of all that, so wasn't really pleased about that one. So I'm going to try and go back up the inside here into turn 3. Try and get the best traction out of here, and we just managed to do so. I actually chased up the gears way too early then, but thankfully we do get the move done, and we actually do get the DRS back on him there. So now we're up into the points. Next up is HO's teammate and Harry Ryan, just a bit further up the road. He's another guy that's on the soft tyres, but trying to go as long as he can dare. So there's yellow flags happening ahead. There's someone in, maybe not into the pit lane, but something occurring ahead here with yellow flags. We're just trying to close in here on Harry just in front here, but there's more yellow flags actually going on here, and I think it's actually for this Haas car. It's going real slowly. I think it's rain actually, so something's occurred there with rain. We'll probably get a bit of replays actually. This looks like one of the Ferraris is actually off the road, so the wet weather's sort of really starting to set in here a little bit here. We're now going to go up the inside here into turn 4 on Harry, side by side here. Now when you get around to turn 6, not really the ideal line, but I think Harry sort of backs away from it a little bit there. So yeah, not sure what's going on here. There's quite a lot of yellow flags. Whether it's either wet weather conditions or the tyres have gone on some of these cars. As you can see, Alan Hugo's all over the shop here. So that was the Ferrari that was going all over the place. So maybe it has something to do with tyres. I'm not sure. We'll have to get replays on that one for sure. As it wasn't the greatest of runs coming up to the front straight here. Harry may have a look up the inside here into turn 1, but no can do. There's a few more guys into the pit lane. It looks like someone's trying to get past Harry, as we're now up into position 6 in this race. So there's a few other guys that come into the pit for their stops. There's actually Prez that's trying to make the move on Harry, as we nearly get a little bit sideways coming out of the final, not the final quarter, the turn 3 actually. But let's have a look here forward with rain. Oh, he just loses the rear end there, and
you're showing a big drop in pressure in the rear right. You've got a puncture in the rear right tyre.
Yeah, he's got a puncture. So well, I wasn't actually predicting it was going to be the tyre wear, but apparently it is so. These guys on super soft tyres are just trying to go as long as they dare to get onto the wet weather tyres. Oh dear. That's what can happen when you have a puncture. You could easily lose the car as soon as you just put your foot on the brake pedal. If you put it on, if you put too much pressure on, you could easily lose the car big time here. You can see this rain just tried to manage this car as he's going to go for another spin here. So what was looking like a fairly decent position for Rain actually is now turned pretty much pear-shaped now, as he's losing spots like right, left, and centre, and trying to get back to the pit lane. I mean, as quickly as he can, but just really need to slow the car down here as there's a bit of another off, and around he goes again. So yeah, it's really going downhill for Rain, unfortunately. So this might be also occurring for Alan Hugo. That might explain why he was having his moments coming into the final couple of quarters into turn 9. So Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You try and gamble just a little bit too much there on, well, anybody on super soft tyres especially, but thankfully for Fens actually, he got a puncture just as he was coming into the pit lane, so he was damn lucky to make it into the pit lane without losing any, getting any damage from that. So now onto a set of soft tyres for him, so it's just the one stop for him. Back we go to Rain, who looks like he's still struggling, and again, still doing 360s. So he's getting much more closer to the pit lane entry now. So and thankfully he's made his way into the pit lane, and don't spit it coming into the pits, for God's sake, Rain. Just manages to get into the pit lane, thankfully, and I think he takes out the speed limit board. But here, he had to wait a little bit here because I think his teammate has just come into the pit lane, which is, of course, Laggy. So now he's trying to go for a bit of a gamble here onto the intermediate tyres. I think quite a few guys actually...
The track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
This is sort of like a tricky situation here because it was still dry enough, but it just didn't feel wet enough to get onto the intermediate tyres, where we're sort of struggling a little bit here as we now lost position to Prez. As you can see now, we're closing in on Rain ahead, who, like I mentioned, has just come in for the pit stop. So he's on intermediate tyres. I think he's really struggling here. Just trying to claw back here on Prez. Not really quite close enough here going into turn 4 here, but he gets really held up there by Rain. And now finally get past him. He's really struggling on those intermediate tyres. By the look of things, it's Rain's, but just really dropping away here as Prez. He's got a little bit more grip compared to me on those super soft tyres, so I think he came in a few laps later than me, but
the computer is showing.
You just see here on board with Rain, he's really struggling, even on the intermediate tyres. I mean, it's just not quite wet enough here by the looks of things, so he may have to come back in again and maybe go onto another set of dry tyres, as he's well and truly down a lap now. Well, his teammate's actually just gone past him here, so yeah, it's just no grip whatsoever here. He's just letting another car go through there. That's Harry. So he's really struggling there. So anyway, we'll cut a couple of laps later to lap 20. There are R8 here. I think he's another one that was on the soft tyres. And his tyres, I think, are starting to wear out a bit more as well. So Prez. So Mars Berserker, I think, is coming to the pit lane. So now Prez up the inside, but he goes a little bit too deep into turn 1 there. R8 may have a crack back up the inside here, but we've got actually a pretty decent run here. We may try and go for 2 spots in one go here. Up the inside here into turn 3, but I realised we've gone a little bit too deep. We got the full spin. We've taken Prez out there, and nearly that was a bit of a dangerous re-entry there on my part on Matt there. So apologies to Matt for that one, and probably apologies to Prez for what happened there. But you see here, Prez has actually crashed out. So yeah, you can make that what you predict anyway, or make it that what you will. But anyway, we're still trying to push on and try and get back to positions as quickly as we can.
Box this lap, please.
As we're closing in now on the Williams of Matt, but Berserk has got quite a bit more pace up his sleeve. Obviously, got much fresher super soft tyres compared to me, because I think it's nearly close to another pit stop actually. But I'm sort of up in arms here of what tyres to go on, because the track's just not wet enough at this point. As Berserk's got quite a lot of speed actually. Sitting up the inside here in the turn 1, it gets ahead of Matt. And now we've got the DRS here, so we'll try and maybe get the spot ahead of Matt here in the position 7, I think this is. I think we're quite close enough here. I took it a lot more precautionary going to the turn 3. Just managed to, thankfully, but not like what happened a bit earlier. We'll get a bit of replays for what happened again, but yeah, just trying to keep up with the pace of Berserk ahead, and keeping ahead of Matt as well. I think Matt will probably be starting to struggle a little bit on the softs.
This light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Yeah, even at that point, Jeff was still saying that the dries are still pretty decent at the moment. But let's have a look at the replay again. So obviously, Prez went in a little bit too deep into turn 1. R8 trying to get a good run here. We do get a bit of a decent run here. Obviously, like I said, was trying to platoon the moves in one go. And I thought at this point I felt like it was pretty, it was okay to brake there, but obviously I was wrong, and that was definitely my mistake on that part. Once I put the foot on the brake pedal, that was the dangerous re-entry with Matt, and I put the foot on the brake pedal, I thought, I'm in a bit of trouble here, so the first pretty much had no choice there to go straight ahead pretty much, but what Prez did then, he didn't really need to do that, and I mean, you can say a little bit of dumb driving there, to be honest there, but yeah, Prez didn't need to do that. He could have easily like come back into the pit lane and maybe chucked on another set of tyres, maybe got just a couple of points at best, as that's what you do. You don't really do that sort of thing, but that was, I think, taken to the stewards actually by, who was it, Laggy person, I think. And I think Prez got some sort of penalty, or maybe a lot of penalty points up his sleeve, but yeah, because I mean, it is in the rules, to say at least. We saw there, we just passed a teammate there, so we're closing in again on R8, who's still pushing on with soft tyres, but I mean, it's in the rules. Sure, it could have been worded a little bit better, but because I think if you sort of crash out and bring out the safety car, then it's more heftier penalties. We got inside here on R8, just managed to do so. But yeah, we'll just go back to that in a second. We're still battling away here with R8. Now back up into position 6 here.
Gap to car
so
in
you're
front
going to have another look up inside here.
3 seconds.
3. We'll leave him the room here. Just give him a little, getting a little bit sideways there.
Okay,
and
focus. We need to stay on 4.
Well, that was probably a bit of my fault there. We actually get a warning there for a collision with R8. But getting a little bit close again, trying to go around the long way around here. I think we might nearly pull it off here because he didn't have the best exit coming out of turn 4 and through into 5. Now got the inside line here into 6, just enough room for 2 cars. So just managed to get ahead of R8, well, with a bit of understeer as well.
Pit in this lap, but remember the speed limit will be penalised. Understood, stopping this lap.
Yeah, at this point in time, I just felt like, yeah, maybe the condition, it was probably about time to come into the pit lane, as there's Harry. Looks like he's had a bit of a spin coming into the pit lane, so yeah, really not ideal. I think Harry was looking on track for a decent result. We just managed to slow down the pit speed limit there, but yeah, I mean, it was probably, put it in summary, I mean, yes, it's in the rules saying like you can't crash out intentionally.
Complete, go now.
I mean, technically it says like you crash out and you bring out this, if you bring out a safety car, then it's a bigger penalty, but I mean, he only crashed out and then didn't bring out a safety car or anything, so I mean, that's probably a little bit of a bonus there, but I mean, Prez could have probably done a little bit better there, to be honest, so but anyway.
Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
We'll just leave it at that one. I'm not trying to have a go at Prez whatsoever, but it probably could have done a little bit more better. But anyway, we're now on to the intermediate tyres. As you can see here on lap 25, as we're now passing my teammate again. Trying again a bit of an early gamble, like pretty much in China, to see whether this one would actually work here. Because we're in a pretty decent position. We're still in the points in position 9.
Our gap to the car in front is 8.3 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 11.4. They have a time penalty of 6.0.
So then Harry's now out of the Grand Prix, as we're not really coping well with the intermediate tyres. We've just run a little bit wide coming through turn 6, I think it was, but thankfully we've got a bit of a gap behind to the next car. I think it's Kaiwa's. So you jump actually further ahead, which is the battle here with Fens and Big Chunkus, Warden, better known as. Of course, Warden's been on those tyres since obviously since the start. So and obviously Fens has now got by and gets the effective race lead. Has to take maybe a bit of a cheeky exit line there, but I think his DRS is offline as well, so not ideal for him either. But on to lap 27 we go. R8's now finally coming to the pit lane for the intermediate tyres, so we gain a bit of an advantage there out of the pit stop, so that's an added bonus there. We actually got quite a big gap behind as well.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Even Jeff was asking for a strat call and was telling me to get back onto the dry tyres, which I thought, are you mad at this point? I mean, yes, Matt ahead is on the super soft tyres, but I felt like maybe the inters was the way to go. We begin lap 28 here. There's a bit of a yellow flag action there. Looks like my teammates maybe caught up in a little bit there, and I think that's where the leaders are. This is what actually happened here. So he's actually spun around. Oh, wow. Now, I think afterwards, fans sort of noted that one, and he knew straight away what it was. Run a little bit wide coming out of turn 8 there as Rain gets past, actually, who's back onto the dry tyres now. So, but I think what happened there with my teammate was he obviously spun around, but he actually went back into the menu and actually reset himself back to track, which is probably not an ideal thing to do, especially when the leaders are coming close by you, especially. But here we go. This is pretty much the battle for the lead and probably the race victory here, because HO is again on another set of super soft tyres. They've got quite a lot of speed to burn here, so going to make easy light work here of Fans. Of course, he's done the one-stop strategy, but I think his tyres are really starting to struggle.
The radar's showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain.
So I mean, there's another dry patch coming, but I think it's probably going to be too late. The race is going to pretty much be over by the time that happens. We get a little bit of drift there coming around the final couple of quarters. Unfortunately, my teammate has crashed and he's out of the Grand Prix, so not the greatest of runs so far for my teammate, but really running it a lot deep there at the hairpin, but really starting to catch up here to the lap car ahead of Rain. So maybe at this point later on in the race, we run very wide there, and thankfully don't lose the car big time there, but definitely lost a heap of time behind.
The gap behind us is 0.9 seconds. They're on old inters. The time last lap was a 1:14.5. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
I think we're pretty even as now Rain just decides to let me, and I was hoping he'd hold up R8 a little bit there, but I think he's actually got past him. I could be completely wrong there, but he may have held up R8 a little bit there for me, so that probably helped me a little bit.
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer.
You can see it here, the drops have sort of started to minimalise a little bit there.
The gap to the car ahead is 11.9 seconds. You're gaining by over 5 seconds a lap. Keep it up. Their tyres are 2 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:13.8. They have a time penalty of 9.0.
So that was obviously the gap ahead, but I think it's a bit too much there ahead for Alan Hugh, to catch up to Alan Hugh, I should say. So I think this is pretty much the battle for the rest of this race.
Our current set of rubber is looking a bit worse for wear at this point. It's not going to be long before it falls away from us completely. Stay alert.
Jeff giving us the warning there on the tyres, just making sure that we have enough grip for later, well, only with a couple of laps to go really, as we get lap 34. And again, R8 still putting a bit of pressure on me, and like I mentioned back in China, he was keeping me honest back then, so and he's definitely keeping me honest back here as well. You can see there's the tyre wear.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
There's the rear tyres are really starting to burn off.
The car in front is 13.7 seconds.
I'm really starting to burn the rears quite a bit actually, and maybe the fronts a little bit because of the amount of locking up I do with the fronts. But it's just the way I brake really. But oh, that was a bit of a big moment coming through there. But didn't really help my run there because R8's probably got a much better run. But thankfully it wasn't quite good enough in the end. But I think Alan Hugo's now got by Matt, who I think is really starting to struggle a little bit on his set of super soft tyres, but he may be able to get away with it with only a couple of laps to go, unless his pace with dry tyres on a wettish track is not really in. As R8 thinks about it going out the inside, a little bit deep coming into the turn 3 hairpin here, but always been there. Lose the rear end coming out of there, but just getting the power a little bit too early. Now the battle is on here for P8 and 9. There's R8 looks up the inside, just going to give him enough room there, and he gets the move done. So that wasn't the ideal for me. And I actually, when I saw that yellow flag, then when I saw the dot, I thought it was actually Matt, but I was proved wrong. It was actually Death, who I think's way down the field. He's not had the greatest of races. I think picking up a jump start earlier on in the race, and just really dropping, really just hadn't quite got the pace here. But This is on the sort of penultimate lap going on to the final lap here. You see Big Chungus, Warden, has actually gone onto the intermediate tyres, and you can see Vance is not quite good on the wet tire, on the dry tyres on the wet track, but HO's got quite a big margin ahead, so I think he's looking on track to maybe get this race victory here. It's there's still a fight, obviously, for us to get in position 8, because I think, from memory,
This is your final lap of the race.
there's only a small margin ahead of us here as there's a yellow flag coming into the pit lane. I think that's for deth, actually. So this race is going from bad to worse here, but still in with a hunt here, because I think, from memory,
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
I think I have less penalties than, or I think we're maybe even pretty even. As you can see, the tyre wear's really dying at this point here. Just trying my best just to catch up to R8. But yeah, I think from memory, you saw deth now out of the Grand Prix. I think R8's got more penalties than me, but coming around the final quarter, pick up another track extension there.
Finishing time at the end of the race.
And I've probably cost myself a decent position of P8, so we're going to come across the line and finish in P9. And I thought, yeah, that's one that's gone begging there, to be honest. I felt definitely P8 was on the cards there. Maybe if I didn't have that final corner cut coming through into turn 9. But this is what happened with a deth. Oh, okay.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay.
Sort of caught that bump where that a bit of track goes off to the right there. But yeah, that was weird. I mean, he was a lap down, but yeah, really unfortunate. But there you go. So there's the podium. So HO very dominant the whole weekend. Got pole. I'm not sure whether he got the fastest lap of the race or not, but obviously the race victory, phenomenal race for him the whole weekend. So big congrats to him. So he'll definitely jump up the championship order a little bit. So we'll have a look at the final race standings once we get past that. So there you go. So HO ahead of Big Chungus and V-Fens. That was the podium. Laggy, pretty decent job as well, up in the 4th. Mars Berserk, fairly decent drive up from, well, nearly at the back of the grid up to 5th. Then you got Alan Hugo in 6th. Matt, obviously, as well, another mover up the field in the 7th. And R8, obviously, in P8. And then myself in P9 ahead of Conrad, who manages to get the final point. And you can see there down the field there's quite a few DNFs and a few lap cars throughout this whole race. So, yeah, that was certainly an entertaining race. And maybe one I lost out of it. There you go. There's the championship. Big Chungus now is the championship lead over Alan Hugo. HO does jump up into P4 ahead of DRC Jarrett, and Mars Berserk actually jumps into the top 10. We still remain in position 14, even though we did gain a couple of points. We've just pretty much just gone nowhere, really. But there's a couple of guys still yet to get onto the board at this stage. But there's the constructors. So Ferrari still have an advantage over Force India. I think it's 20-odd points or something or other along those lines. Sauber is still at 3rd ahead of Mercedes and Haas. And you got Renault, Red Bull. We pretty much, I think, even up points with Toro Rosso and McLaren. Obviously get their first points as well with Conrad, getting still in 10th position. So, yeah, all in all, a bit of an up and down race. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. As always, you can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2018, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. As always, all my social media links will be down in the description, plus the links to the AOR website and their YouTube channel. Be sure to catch all the live streams around, especially for Oceania, for the Europeans as well as Americas. But and probably even all the different consoles as well, not just Xbox One, but for PS4 and PC. But till the next time, which will be, I think it's the British Grand Prix, actually. It is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.